interest rate. Over the course of 30 years, that same loan is going to cost you about $417,000 in interest. That actually amounts to a difference of $44,000 over the course of the loan. That's crazy because getting a good credit score is not that hard as long as you pay off your bill on time and you stay out of too much debt. Now here's the thing though about that, you can never miss a payment. So to illustrate how important this is, if you make 99% of your payments on time, you basically get a B. So literally with a credit score, you cannot afford to miss.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
When looking for the perfect card to reward your appetite for life, look no further than
to miss any payments at all, and that's why you should always have on auto pay when you can. And the last part of this trifecta milestone is simply delayed gratification. If you can delay your impulse purchases in your 20s, you're gonna have an easier time compounding your wealth for the future, and that's simply due to the fact that $1 today is gonna be worth more than $1 in the future. The more capital that you can accumulate when you're young, that means the bigger the base is gonna be that you're gonna have when it comes to investing and compounding your wealth. So let's pretend we have a person, A and B. They both don't invest from the ages of 20 to 30, but at least they save money. Person A saves up $500 a month, so by the time that they're 30, they have $60,000 ready to invest. Person B, on the other hand, they save up $750 a month, so they have $90,000 by the time that they're 30 ready to invest. Now pretend at the age of 30, they both start to invest in the market and they get 8% until debt. So chances are if you graduate college, you're likely going to have some student loans and you might even have some credit card debt. The average student loan debt in America is $39,000, and oftentimes if you're going to a 4-year institution or even a 2-year institution after transferring from community college,
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I know I'm about 5 minutes over, but at least on that starting scene, you get something good to watch. It ain't just sitting there. I am your host, Dan F. Man. This is DGTA TV. All right, so today we're going to be using our resources. Of course, it's another Tech Tuesday. I don't even think I put that in the title. I still got it saying Mindful Mondays. I'm going to type it in there real quick just so y'all can hear my keyboard clap. All right, we're going to be using our resources. And what resources am I talking about? I'm talking about any tools that you're using to accomplish the task. What is the task? Well, the task is your life and living. So right now, our first resource, let me get back to my page. There it is. Our first resource would be our mind. So let me see something. You know, YouTube always got how-to videos. Let's see if they got this one. How to use your mind. You know, they got Dr. Joe Dispenza. Let's see something.
The part of the brain that is responsible for mind wandering is called the default mode network. One research study on the default mode network estimated that 47% of people spend their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing. And this mind wandering typically makes them unhappy. But the good news is your default mode responds to neuroplasticity changes. So what improves neuroplasticity in the parts of the brain that can keep your default mode in check? Diet. Magnesium, curcumin, and intermittent fasting all improve neuroplasticity. Meditation is also a powerful way to get control over your thoughts and keep the default mode turned off. And antidepressant medications, if you have depression or anxiety, the part of the brain that is responsible for mind wandering is called the default mode.
I just liked hearing that, that's all. Ooh. Bet you we can't watch that. See? Oh, they got a side of guru. Hold on. I want to see something. I want to see what that was. They ain't gonna let us watch this for free. We gonna just take a few minutes off.
big ideas.
Listen to what he's saying.
We have three types of stress that we process in the physical body. We have physical stress, that's like trauma, accidents, injuries, falls. And then you have chemical stress, like toxins or pesticides or pollutants or viruses or bacteria or hangovers or nutritional deficiencies. And then you have emotional stress, right? And emotional stress could be family tragedies, car accidents, second mortgages, single parenting, 401ks, whatever that is. But each one of those things, physical, chemical, or emotional, knock the body out of homeostasis, out of regulation, out of balance. The innate capacity of the body when it's not overstressed is that it wants to always return back and regulate. It wants to return back to homeostasis. It wants to return back to order. And that's innate in us. That's an automatic process that's running through the autonomic nervous system. So we could say the job of the autonomic nervous system is to create balance and regulation and homeostasis, and it's automatic. And that part of the brain sits under the thinking neocortex, and it's called the chemical brain, or the emotional brain, or the limbic brain, or the mammalian brain. And it has all of those functions that make blood sugar balanced, hormone levels, digestive enzymes. It's doing what it can to take the body and constantly repair it and regenerate it and move it back into balance. All of those stressors knock the brain and body out of balance, and the innate mechanism, the stress response, brings it back to balance. Well, it just makes sense. If you keep knocking it out of balance over and over again, and you keep moving it out of homeostasis, that imbalance is going to become the new balance, and now you're headed for disease because that automatic system can't regulate order in the body.
So we can't watch what's up, Zanita67? So we can't watch too much more of this. I'll give us another 30 seconds, because this ain't the free version right here. All right, Mom. This ain't the free version right here. So, but we're going to listen to a couple more seconds of it.
So a system then is compromised. The system breaks down. And so if it's physical trauma, your body can heal if you rest it. If it's chemical imbalance, you take your pharmaceuticals, or you take your nutraceuticals, your vitamins, your minerals, your herbs, you intermittent fast. You do anything you can to get the body back so that it's using more energy for growth and repair. But the big factor is emotional stress. 75 to 90% of every person that walks into a healthcare facility in the Western world walks in because of psychological or emotional stress. Pretty much 4 out of 5 people, what's really causing their health condition is that they're emotionally stressed and emotionally out of balance, okay?
So remember, we typed in how to use your mind. And what he's saying is, if you're emotionally stressed and you're constantly putting your body into a state of stress, or your mind into a state of stress, it inevitably flows over into everything. Let's see what Sadhguru got for us on how to use your mind.
I've always struggled with losing weight and keeping it off, but I felt comfortable with hers.
A natural upsurge of energy will happen. It activates the lumbar region of the spine in a tremendous way, strengthens the muscles along the spine, the sharpness of your intellect. You can see a difference happen just because you're doing a simple few things. Ultimately, whatever you wish to do in your life, how much clarity do you have is all there is, isn't it? About anything? Yes or no? If you don't have clarity, you will try to make it up with confidence. Confidence is a very poor substitute for clarity. It's like there's a busy highway, vehicles are moving at a fast pace. Your vision is not clear. You bring confidence. You can refer to your horoscope. You have a horoscope. You can refer to your horoscope and say, my horoscope says I live for 90 years, nothing is going to happen to me, and just cross. You may make it. Or use one of your slogans which will bring you confidence. You can say Jai Sri Ram, you can say Allahu Akbar, Hail Mary, whatever you want, whatever works for you. Loudly shout the slogan and run across. It may work just by sheer chance,
Right.
or because of the compassion of some driver. But every day if you try it, we know where to pick you up.
Right.
One day you can make it with confidence. So confidence is not a substitute for clarity. If you want to do anything successfully, you must have clarity, isn't it? If clarity has to come, the most important thing is your spine should be in a certain condition, because your perception is largely handled there. The spine is not just a physical substance, it is a communication network, a serious communication network. If you lose it, or if it becomes insensitive, you don't know what you're losing. You're just losing something phenomenal. So it's not just a physical substance, it is the basis of communication that's happening in the system, isn't it? The spinal cord is… the spine is not just one single piece, it's many complex assembly. Every day it needs to stretch. If it telescopes into one into another, then the communication capability in the spine is hugely lost. So, this Yoga Namaskar, it activates the lumbar region of the spine in a tremendous way, strengthens the muscles along the spine, giving it a reinforcement so that as one ages, the collapsing of the spine, which causes pinching of the nerves, does not happen. And if already there's damage is setting in, the best way to regenerate your spine would be by doing Yoga Namaskar. It has all-round benefits for the entire body. Yoga Namaskar is a very simple and complete process by itself. A natural upsurge of energy will happen if you just keep your feet together and sit down in a squat. So the squat is best if you can put your feet together and squat, which most of you cannot do right now. Very few people can do. We don't want too much energy to happen, so the next best stance is to keep your feet in line with your shoulders, just the same width as your shoulders. You can do up to 21. 21 is a good number to do. If you cannot do that, start with 7. Slowly, every 2 days, 1 extra if you do. In about 40 days, you will be at 21, which is a good number to do. You will see it'll make a phenomenal difference in the way you function. If there is some way to gauge your intelligence, the sharpness of your intellect, you will see, you can see a difference happening, just because you're doing a simple few things to relax and activate the spine.
So, that's one tool right there that we got. One resource we have right there in our conquest to use our mind. Activation or maintenance or stretching of our spine, our main communication center. And what Sadhguru is telling us is squats. You use a squat position to send a natural surge of energy up your spine. If you can squat with your feet together, that will increase. But if you can't do that at this point, shoulder length apart, still do fine. So, let's let's have some fun. How to use your car 2024. Let's see. To hustle. Make money. Let's see. All right, here we go.
Selling. Y'all gonna
love this.
$100 grand a day to consult for them, and they come to my offices. They always want to.
Alright, so I know a lot of people that watch this channel are either thinking about driving for something like Uber or Instacart, or maybe you've already even done it before. But did you know that there are way more options out there other than Uber or Lyft or Instacart? And some of them pay a lot better. Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. We are going to be going over 13 easy delivery driver side hustles. And in a lot of these, you can use your own car, and in some cases, they may actually have a car that you can use as well. So yeah, let's get into this one right after you gently cheers the like button. All right, so number one is going to be delivering lost luggage from airports. So 25% of travelers report that airlines have actually lost their luggage in the last 5 years. So this basically happens all the time, and someone's got to deliver the luggage from the airport to wherever the person is staying. And that's where this job comes in. So there was an article I found of someone, he was actually a teacher, Travis, who works a little bit of extra time. He worked an extra 4 hours and he made over $800. And you can expect to make about $8 to $100 plus per gig. Now you will get paid by the airport itself, of course, but sometimes people will actually tip you as well. So the way you want to get into this is, first of all, understand the industry, especially in your local market, right? Look up on Google lost luggage delivery service in your area. See who's doing it, and see which companies are offering this lost luggage delivery service to the airlines. And if you take this far enough, in some cases, you may be able to start your own lost luggage delivery service. So yeah, this is a really good one. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 opportunity score. Lots and lots of videos of people doing this on YouTube. You can check them out. And speaking of YouTube, I actually teach people how to start successful YouTube channels.
My man's plug yourself.
3 to 4 coaching clients, and you can apply to be one of my clients, and I'll put that link down in the description as well as the pinned comment below. Now keep in mind, this isn't just like a course or anything like that. This is actually a pretty intensive coaching program. So I only take on people who are very serious about getting success on YouTube. Now the next category on the list is going to be delivering food. And we're going to go over 5 different options that you have for food delivery. And the first option is probably going to surprise you, and that is a pizza delivery driver. Now, you're probably thinking they don't make any money, right? Pizza delivery drivers, they're probably teenagers, they're not making any money. And for a lot of companies, they aren't. But if you find the right company, you can actually make really good money. We're talking about $35 an hour. And an example of that would be a Domino's delivery driver. So anyone from the US probably knows exactly what Domino's is. You've probably had it a few times at least. And yeah, they make pretty good pizza. Now the cool thing is you have the option to use your own car, or you can use a company car with Domino's. And reports online show that they make about $14.50 per hour plus tips. And on a good day with tips, they were making about $35 an hour. But Glassdoor shows the base pay as about $16 to $25 an hour. But that is going to vary greatly depending on what area you live in. Typically, affluent neighborhoods are going to be giving you bigger tips. So overall, I'll give them about a 7.5 out of 10 opportunity score. Next one on the list, I'm just going to go over very quickly because I think everyone knows about it, and that is Uber Eats. And believe it or not, if you work a lot and you get some good tips, you can make around $8,000 a month doing Uber Eats, like this guy did, right? He made $8,000 a month and he documented it on TikTok. But generally speaking, Uber Eats drivers make about $15 to $21 an hour. So I think everyone knows about this one. It's pretty solid. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 opportunity score. The next one is a Sweet Green lunchtime delivery driver. And this is basically a place that delivers healthy products like salads. Then you'd actually be operating out of the SG Logistics platform. And they pay a minimum of $23 an hour. And typically their lunchtime delivery drivers make more like $25 to $35 an hour. And that doesn't even count the tips. Now the downside to this one is lunchtime is between 10:30 to 1:30 p.m. So it's really only 3 hours of the day, and it's only Monday to Friday. So that's only about 15 hours a week of work. But what you could do is do one of these other delivery apps, and then during lunchtime you switch to this one. So yeah, this one is great. The only problem is the limited availability availability of time slots, I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10 opportunity score. Next on the list is another very well-known one, and that is a Grubhub delivery driver. Now, I think everyone knows about this one, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, but Grubhub delivery drivers, according to Indeed, make about $51,000 a year. So they do make a full-time income if they do it full-time, and you don't have to have a boss that's breathing down your neck. You basically just get to work autonomously. So there are a lot of positives to this one. So I'll give this one an 8 out of 10 opportunity score. Another really well-known one in this category is going to be a DoorDash delivery driver, and they tend to make about $18 to $27 an hour. And there's some people that claim that they make up to $30 an hour after tips. So yeah, it's another pretty solid option. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10 opportunity score. Now, the downside to these types of careers is you're not really ever going to be able to get a promotion and do something that pays higher. A different career where you can get promotions and make it up to 6 figures a year, even multi-6 figures a year, is IT. Information technology has tons of opportunity, and a really easy entry-level job to get into is IT help desk. I've interviewed a bunch of people on this channel that have actually been able to get into this, and they all use the company Course Careers. And Course Careers does have a free training for IT help desk, which I'll put down in the description, as well as the pinned comment below, so you can see if it's right for you, and you can just see what it's all about. All right, so the next category is going to be
Loom's superpower is amplifying you, opening up a new world of productivity.
Delivering
Hey,
packages.
what's up, O?
And I'm going to talk about 5 different options in this category,
see you
and
up
several
in
of them
there.
you've probably never heard of before. All right, so let's get the obvious one out of the way. Amazon delivery driver. They pay about $18 to $25 an hour. So this one's more solid in that you're almost definitely going to make that range of 18 to 25, but you're probably also not going to get the tips that you would with food delivery. So there's definitely some positives and negatives to this one. Most of the ones on this list do have pretty flexible schedules, so this one is no exception to that. But yeah, I'll give this one an opportunity score of 8.5 out of 10. By the way, if you're enjoying this video and you think of someone else who could get some value from the video as well and might enjoy it, go ahead and share it with them. You never know, one of your friends or family members or just someone who needs to get a job might see this and it might help them get a job. The next one on the list is going to be another pretty common one, which is a Postmates delivery driver. And Postmates delivers goods and also food to people. And they pay about $19 to $32 an hour. Now, Postmates is kind of known for being a little bit more driver focused, so they're kind of better to their drivers. They offer them better bonuses, etc. So for that reason, I'll give this one an 8 out of 10 opportunity score. Next one is going to be a UPS seasonal support driver. Now, this is a seasonal one, so they're only going to bring you on at certain times of the years that are extra busy. So like the holiday seasons, for instance, they would bring a lot of people on. And there's a stat that 80% of seasonal jobs at UPS don't require an in-person interview. And most job seekers will have a job offer within
try to make it worth
minutes.
your while to be
and they
up
pay
in
about
there.
$18 to $33 an hour. Now, the pay is comparable to a lot of the other ones, but the thing that makes this one better is you can join at a seasonal time, but if you do a good job, you might get a full-time offer. And if you get a full-time offer, there are lots of opportunities to get promotions and pay bumps. So that's what makes this one a little more attractive than a lot of the other ones on the list. So for instance, there's this story of Samantha Lopez that joined UPS as a driver during the peak season, and now she's 17 years into her UPS career and she's progressed through 10 different positions. So there are many opportunities to make a ton of money at UPS. There's lots of different 6-figure job opportunities. And that's why I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10 opportunity score. Next on the list is going to be a Skedaddle delivery driver. So Skedaddle is a company that delivers packages all over the US, and they pay an hourly rate of $18 an hour, but they also do have some bonuses. For instance, they pay you 30 cents per stop that you make. And there are also opportunities for actual promotions at this company. So yeah, this one's pretty good. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 opportunity score. Next on the list is going to be Drop-Off. And this is a company that does same-day package delivery. Now, an interesting thing about this company is they actually have really good ratings on Glassdoor. So 4.1 out of 5-star rating, and 90% of people approve of the CEO. So that's actually pretty rare to see when it comes to delivery companies. And couriers at Drop-Off make about $35,000 to $52,000 a year. Now, you do have to be 21 years or older to do this one, and you have to have some kind of vehicle that's less than 10 years old. So they do have some stipulations with this one, but yeah, there's a lot to like as well. I'll give this one an 8 out of 10 opportunity score. Now, the next category is going to be delivering medical supplies, and I'm actually going to put 2 different companies that I really like in this category. The first one is Lab Logistics. So they service all 50 states, and if you work as a medical courier for them, you're gonna make $48,000 to $74,000 a year. This is literally a job that you can just just get, all you need is a car. That's basically it. And you can make $48,000 to $74,000 a year. Now, because of the fact that you are delivering medical supplies, they are going to run a background check on you. They kind of have to go through a bit of a process like that, because you are going to be delivering kind of like sensitive documents. And in some cases, you might be delivering medical supplies that need to be refrigerated and that kind of thing. So they basically just have to make sure you're not sketchy. So you do have to actually go through an application process, but it seems to be pretty chill. And this company pays extremely well. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 opportunity score. So if you made it this far into the video, go ahead and subscribe to Be Reliable Couriers. And they do different types of medical supply delivery, but one of the things they do is what's known as stat delivery. And stat basically means ASAP, right? It means do it right now. So deliveries that have to happen immediately, right? So maybe a hospital is running out of a certain medication or medical supply and they need it delivered super quickly. So obviously, if you're going to need it super quick, that means you're going to have to pay a premium for it. And that's where this company comes in, and that's where you as a medical courier come in. Now, this position is going to be easier to get into than the one before, but it also pays a little less. So they pay about $30,000 to $45,000 a year. But it's an easy way for you to get your foot in the door as a medical courier, and then down the line, you can go ahead and pick up better jobs. So overall, I'll give this one an opportunity score of 8.5 out of 10. The next category is going to be
got 10 out of 10.
Liquor. Yes, this is actually something you can do.
Hold up. Really? Oh, y'all hear that? Delivering liquor. Delivering the liquor.
Is going to be delivering liquor. Yes, this is actually something you can do.
Really? Really?
And there's only one on this list, and that's going to be Drizzly. Now, this company is currently only available in about 31 states, and I'm guessing that's because of legal reasons. And it's available in over 1,500 cities in North America. So you have to check to see if it's available in your area. And according to information online, you make about $13 to $18 an hour plus tips. So yeah, this is an interesting one. It's one where you might be able to pick up some jobs kind of later on in the day if Uber Eats or one of the other apps isn't working or you aren't getting any jobs from them. But yeah, it does pay on the lower side. It's also a little bit sketchy. You know, you might be delivering it to a house full of drunk people. You may or may not get tips here. So I'll give this one a 6.5 out of 10 opportunity score. Now, if you haven't seen it already, I did make a video that went semi-viral on 10 side hustles you
Okay, that was the last one. That was pretty cool. All right. Let me see. How to use your computer. Let's see. Maybe we won't
When it's
watch
time to start your business, it's time for Shopify. Get everything you need to go from launch.
So in today's video, I'm going to show you what is by far the easiest way to make money online in 2024. Last year, we saw the incredible rise of artificial intelligence, making it easier than ever to make money online. But this year, it's taken it to a whole new level. It's actually crazy how times have changed, where you can be in the comfort of your own home and make a full-time living over the internet. I personally haven't clocked into a regular 9-to-5 job in over 6 years, and I've generated millions of dollars for companies that I've partnered with, and I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars for myself along the way. This method I'm going to show you today, however, is 100% beginner friendly and it works worldwide. And the best part is that it doesn't require you to have any money, and I'm going to show you the simple steps that you need to take to get started. With that all being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into this video so I can show you guys how to make money online with AI in 2024. Alright guys, so before we go ahead and dive into this method, I want to quickly show you guys the potential of AI and how much money you can potentially make with this. So we take a look at my screen right now, you can see the generative AI market was valued at $29 billion in 2022, and it was projected to grow up to $43 billion in the year of 2023, which it actually accomplished, right? And you can see by 2030 it's expected to grow even more. And that's not all. We head over to this article right here by Statistica. You can see the market growth each year. So you can see from 2020 it was around 5 billion, 2021 it jumped to 11 billion, 2022 it even doubled again to 23 million. You can see the market is expanding. We're in 2024 2024 now, and it's grown by 20x. And by 2030, from this article right here, you can see it's expected to go up to $207 billion. Another article that I found right here over on Bloomberg estimates that the generative AI is going to be a 1.3 trillion market by 2032, right? And the good news is that as this market grows, the more money you're going to be able to make. A lot of millionaires, a lot of billionaires are going to be made with AI, which means that you need to capitalize on this right now if you want to make a lot of money in the next coming years. And you guys want to be a part of the people that get in now when the market size is at a lower range, right? You don't want to be getting in at 2028 or 2029 when it's already exploded and all these companies are making millions. You want to get in early so that you can be one of the individuals that are going to reap all of the fruits and all of the benefits of AI right now. So if you get in right now in 2024, you're going to be 10 steps ahead of a lot of people that are going to be getting in later when the market is, you know, oversaturated and there's not much money to be made. So if you're as excited as I am right now, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button, because I'm going to show you how you can get started right now with making some money online with artificial intelligence. Now, before we continue, just a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Store Domain. So you're creating an CR7, it fits better.
Just fucking said we about to start.
Beginners that are just getting started with making money online. As you can see from...
Man, bro, shut up. I don't even want to see your video now.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store preloaded.
What if I were to tell you you could earn over $40 an hour from the comfort of your home, and starting with zero money and zero experience? Well, you can, and what makes it even better is it's actually easier to get hired for these types of position than it is for traditional jobs. In fact, with some of these, you can literally get hired and start making money within the day. And the first one on this list is going to be internet scoping. And I know what you're thinking, what the heck is internet scoping? Is that where you target the like button and then hit it? No, actually not, but you should definitely do that because I would appreciate it. Internet scoping is where you work from home in your pajamas while you help lawyers make sense of their jumbled arguments. It's kind of like being a detective, but instead of solving crimes, you're going to be solving the mystery of what the heck was that lawyer actually trying to say.
It goes to bias, Your Honor. I sustain the objection. Next question. All right.
And this is going to be great.
It goes to bias, Your Honor. I sustain the objection. Next question. All right.
And this is going to be great for people who have an eagle eye for detail and a knack for research. And I found this really cool story of Doris, for instance, who went from being laid off to making over $4,500 a month as a scopist. And you could even make more than that if you're good at the job, because this is all about basically acting as a quality control person for the court reporter who is recording transcripts. And with this one, as a beginner, you'll probably make somewhere around $500 to $800 a month. And of course, you'll be doing it part-time. Now, as you get some experience, you'll probably make more like $1,500 to $4,500 a month, depending on the time of year. This is one of those careers where you're going to be much busier at certain times of the year, which is actually a good thing. If it was a steady, stable career, you probably wouldn't be able to make as much money with it. Now, some of the pros of scoping are going to be the ability to work from home, flexible hours, and a steady stream of work. Some of the cons include the potential for repetitive work and having to constantly learn new software and techniques. So if you're a member of the grammar police, this career might be great for you, and you should probably be looking down in the comments right now to see if anybody made a mistake so that you can correct them. This one gets a 7 out of 10 opportunity score. Now, the next one on the list is going to be a great way for you to help people out in the healthcare industry without having to wear scrubs and go into a clinic or a hospital. And that's going to be a telehealth coordinator. Now, being a telehealth coordinator is kind of like being a traffic cop except for doctors. And instead of honking horns, you're going to be managing video calls. And telehealth is, of course, really exciting because it allows people to see a doctor really quickly to determine whether they need to go in person. And that's just a lot more convenient for the patient as well as the doctor. And as a telehealth coordinator, you will be managing all different types of administrative tasks. And with the increasing demand for remote healthcare, especially with everything that happened in the world over the last few years, the need for telehealth coordinators is on the rise. And the job can be done from anywhere with an internet connection. Now, with this one, you'd expect to make about $48,000 a year. So some of of the pros of this one are you have the ability to work from home, you get to help people because you work in the healthcare industry, but you don't have to interact directly with patients, and the job market is growing rapidly. Cons include potential stress from managing multiple appointments, and of course you're going to have to stay up to date with the changing healthcare technologies. This one gets an opportunity score of 7.5 out of 10. The next one is going to be great for you if you're a multitasker and you like talking to people, but you don't want to actually talk with them over video or over the phone. And that is going to be a live chat specialist. And being a live chat specialist is kind of like being a therapist, but you don't get to charge by the hour. And a fun fact here is studies have shown that customers are most satisfied when they get to talk to people in live chat rather than having to call someone on the phone or send an email. So basically you're going to be kind of like a customer service representative, but you're going to be typing to them instead of video calling or calling them over the phone. Now, sometimes this job can also involve certain incentives, like kind of pointing people towards certain products and you kind of get a commission on them. But it really depends on the company. But yeah, live chat support is super easy to get into, and you'll make around $43,000 a year on average. And if you get into the positions where you can have incentives, you can make quite a bit more than that. Some of the pros here are you have the flexibility to work from anywhere with an internet connection. You have the ability to help people and solve problems, and there can be a good amount of opportunity for advancement. Cons of this one can include dealing with frustrated customers, of course, and having to deal with multiple chats at the same time. So if you love multitasking, helping people, and you don't mind being a digital superhero, being a live chat specialist might just be the perfect job for you. And hey, at least you don't have to wear a cape or go into the office. And by the way, I have some good resources to get into some of the careers that I talk about in this video, not all of them, but I'll go ahead and put them down in the description as well as the pinned comment below. Some of the resources are free and some of them are paid, but they're all pretty reasonable. But yeah, for live chat specialist, I'm actually going to give this one a 9.5 out of 10 opportunity score just because of how easy it is to get into it. The next one on the list can be somewhat messed up, so you need to be careful which company you work for, but that is going to be
Stop smashing
they cut
Amazon's
him off
buy
right there.
button and start getting Amazon to pay you instead. But
content moderator. And this is kind of like being a bouncer for the internet. You have to keep the rowdy ones out and make sure that everybody follows the rules. And basically, as a content moderator, what you're going to be doing is reviewing user-generated content. So things like comments, photos, videos, etc. Now, there are some types of content moderation where you're going to be having to view explicit videos. So things that are very messed up to see. And content moderators that do this report having some type of trauma afterwards in many cases. And there's different types of content moderation where you're just making sure that people, stay within the guidelines. And content moderators make about $42,000 a year. Some of the pros here are flexible hours, the ability to work from home, and the importance of the work being done. Some of the cons include potentially disturbing content and high levels of scrutiny on your moderation. And yeah, hopefully you're not one of those moderators that bans people because they have a different political belief than you do, for instance. That is not cool. But yeah, this one is relatively easy to get into. There's also a lot of job openings available, and this one is going to get an opportunity score of 7 out of 10. Now again, keep in mind, these are the types of jobs where you can get into them very quickly. These are not the type of jobs you're probably going to be doing for your entire career. That is not the purpose of this video. Are you looking for a remote job that allows you to use your technical expertise to keep a business running smoothly? Well, you might want to check out business system admins, because sometimes Excel can't fix everything. And I like this quote from John Chambers of Cisco that at least 40% of all businesses will die in the next 10 years if they don't figure out how to change their entire company to accommodate new technologies. And basically, you're going to be managing and maintaining the software systems that companies use on a day-to-day basis. And this is done to ensure effective business operations. And you're kind of like a mechanic that keeps the engine of a business running smoothly. And the reason this one is so good for getting a remote job is because of the fact that this is something that's been going online lately, and the demand for skilled business system admins has gone up a lot. I wanted to put one on here that would be a little bit better than some of the other ones on the list, maybe even something you could do for your entire career. And this one you make about $97,000 a year. Some of the pros here include good pay, flexible work hours, and the ability to work remotely, of course. Some of the cons include a need for constant learning and the potential for long hours during system outages. So if you're the type of person who loves to fix things, but you don't want to have to deal with the hassle of office politics or finding a parking spot spot, then business system admin might be the perfect remote job for you. This one gets an 8 out of 10 opportunity score just because of the fact that it's going to be harder to get into. So next one on the list, I'm going to be talking about some company-specific jobs. And this particular company is going to be very well known. So if you're a tech-savvy problem solver and you're looking for a remote job with a world-renowned company, look no further because you can be a Apple home care specialist. Now there's a lot of different names that they go by. In this particular case, we're going to be talking about Apple Home Advisors. Now this one had super positive reviews online. People absolutely love working for Apple. And basically what you're going to be doing here is you're going to be working remotely in order to assist customers with issues that they have with Apple products. So you're going to be kind of like the emergency medical responders of the tech world, swooping in to save the day if an iPhone is on the fritz. And Apple is always hiring. Now, according to Glassdoor, Apple at-home advisors make about $37,000 a year, and reportedly they have amazing benefits. So some of the pros, $7,000 a year, and reportedly they have amazing benefits. So some of the pros here are, of course, you're gonna have remote work. There is extensive training, which is a good thing, and you get a chance to work with a world-renowned company, which is going to look great on your resume. Some of the cons here is, of course, you're going to have to deal with frustrated customers, and you might have to work odd hours in order to accommodate international customers as well. Oh, and it's probably a good thing to be relatively familiar with Apple products. And there is a lot of Apple products these days. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see an Apple house one of these days. This one I'm going to give an opportunity score of 8 out of 10 because of the fact that it's a really prestigious company. They're always hiring, and it's relatively easy to get into. Now, the next one on the list is going to be for somebody who is a next level customer service representative. This is something that you can make a lot more money than a typical customer service representative job, and that is going to be a customer success manager. Now, an interesting fact here is they've done studies and they've shown that getting new customers is somewhere in between 5 and 25 times more expensive than just retaining your existing ones. And that's why it's so important to have really good customer service, and customer success manager is basically the ultimate version of customer service. Now, this one is getting more and more common, but a lot of the time you're going to see customer success managers, especially for more high-ticket type products and services. This is especially common in the business-to-business industry, and that is businesses that service other types of businesses. Now, according to Glassdoor, customer success managers make about $94,000 a year. So some of the pros here include the ability to work remotely, of course. There's super high demand for this job, and you have an opportunity to work closely with people and help them succeed. Some of the cons here are you're going to need very strong communication skills, and sometimes you can be put in high pressure positions. This one gets an opportunity score of 9.5 out of 10. And by the way, I made a great video about the 21 highest paying work from home jobs. A lot of these are more long term, take a little bit longer to get into, but some of them are relatively easy to get into as well. And you can check that out by clicking right here.
So you think you know Wix? Do you really?
What if I were to tell you you could earn over 40 about the 21 highest paying work from?
All right. Let's forget making money. Let's make art. I don't want to make money.
It seems like every few years, an artist breaks through with a sound that is so unique and original that it captures everyone's attention and influences the entire music industry. But here's the thing. These artists didn't just get lucky. They knew something that the majority of artists don't. And in this video, I'm going to reveal a powerful strategy that successful artists use to set themselves apart from the rest. You'll learn why finding and defining your sound is not just important, but is essential to your success. And I'll guide you through a simple and actionable method to make it happen. It's so simple, in fact, it might even feel like you're cheating. But before we get into that, let's talk about a common mistake that stops 95% of artists from ever achieving their true potential. Most artists unknowingly fall into this trap that makes their music blend into everyone else's. And if you're not careful, you could be one of them too. But don't worry, I'll show you exactly how to avoid this and stand out from the crowd. Imagine if your music could be something that everyone can't help but notice. So genuine, so original, that it resonates on an emotional level with your listeners. That's what I'm going to help you achieve today. So let me introduce you to my favorite chocolate, Smarties. If you don't know them, they're basically a bigger version of an M&M. But regardless, they're here just to help me explain a few things. This is what it would look like if everyone made completely different and completely original styles of music. But that just isn't true, is it? The act of imitation is inherent to the way that we learn, the way that we learn to speak, the way that we learn to sing. And in fact, as much as we might hate to admit it, we borrow ideas, we borrow sounds, we borrow chord progressions from other artists all the time. So what happens is that slowly everyone's music starts to sound the same, and we're just left with one shade of music. But why does that matter? Well, because if your music sounds like everyone else's, it's nearly impossible to stand out. And visibility as an independent artist is just as integral to success as writing great music. But gaining visibility is next to impossible if you're just a watered-down imitation of someone or something that already exists. If you're an orange Smartie in a sea of orange Smarties, good luck. But if you can be a blue Smartie in a sea of orange, now people won't be able to resist paying attention. Human nature and intrigue will just take over. And if you think that this just isn't applicable to you because you make avant-garde, dream state hyperpop, you're wrong. You will find that in any genre, whether it's hyperpop or hip-hop or even classical, the majority of artists look to a leader for influence and inspiration on sound and style. And this is the trap. Taking influence from what's successful now does not guarantee your success. Your fans are much cleverer than you might think, and they deserve something only you can create. But how do you create something original that only you can create? Well, don't worry, it's much easier than you might think. After I explain this concept, I'll walk you through a step-by-step method to help your music stand out. It's truly transformative. But first, let's go back to these Smarties. Imagine we have 3 artists pursuing a career in the music industry. Person A was born in London during the 90s.
And I want y'all to know that this isn't true. This isn't true yet. Like, all the stuff that he's saying isn't true yet. You can't do any of this in the music industry. It was rigged the entire time anyway.
But moved with their Albanian parents to Kosovo during their childhood. At 15, they returned to London alone to pursue a career in music, navigating the challenges of living between 2 very different cultures. Person B was born in Barbados during the 80s and faced their parents separating when they were young. Later, they moved to the United States to pursue a career in music. Person C was born in the noughties. They grew up in a multicultural household with one parent from Kenya and the other from England. Their parents adored music. No matter who you are or what you may believe now, when we are born, we do not choose our families, our ethnicities, or our nationalities. And as we grow up, we have little control over where, when, and how this happens. It just does. These surroundings and experiences shape us and influence our music. Your exposure to music during these formative years is written into the tapestry of your unique story. So if you can view the most influential songs of your life through the lens of the person you are today, you will create something nobody else can create. And this is how you stand out from everybody else. Be 100% genuine to yourself and make music that you will love forever. So let me show you my 5-step method that will change your artist career forever. Step 1, make a playlist of every song that you love and have ever loved. This could be the first song you remember singing, your mum and dad's favorite song, the song that got you through your first breakup, or the song that made you start music. Any song that has meaning in your life. Step 2, go through the playlist and play the first 5 to 10 seconds of each song. If it doesn't immediately bring back an emotion, a powerful feeling in your stomach, or an image in your mind, delete it from the playlist. And repeat this process until you have 10 to 12 songs max. The more you narrow down this playlist, the more you define yourself, and the easier your music will stand out. Step 3, create an accompanying document. And for each song, write down why it is important to you. Describe in as much detail as possible the emotions you feel, the places that it takes you, and what exactly touches you. This could be, for instance, the way that the singer uses their higher register reminds you of being a child, or the contrast between quiet verses and loud choruses makes you want to scream every time you hear it. Capture the essence of what resonates with you. Step 4. Revisit and refine this playlist and document regularly as you grow as an artist. Your influences might evolve, and so should your understanding of what makes your sound unique. This is a living document that should grow with you. And the final step, step 5, use this playlist and document as a guide when you are lost, or in need of inspiration, or want to demonstrate your vision to your collaborator. These songs are the building blocks of your unique sound. And by following the steps that you've just taken, you've done more than just create a playlist. You've uncovered the essence of who you are as an artist. You've identified the music that genuinely resonates with you, allowing you to create something truly original. With your unique sound, you'll be able to differentiate yourself from the sea of similar sounding artists. Create music that connects, and by staying true to your influences and your experiences, your music will resonate on a deeper emotional level with your listeners. So, congratulations, you have now defined the artist that you wish to be, and you're ahead of 95% of the rest. The emotions that you've captured here are more powerful than any other comparison that you could make to current music. Use this playlist and document as a roadmap to create music that only you can make. Like, can you imagine having your unique sound brought to life with the help of someone who truly understands your vision? Well, if you've written some incredible songs and all you need now is to bring them to life through production, use the link in the description and I'll get in contact. If you just want to learn even more about upping your game as an artist, then all you have to do is click here.
Your small business has unlimited potential. Spectrum Business is built to connect you with that potential.
All right. How to...
If you ask your parents...
No, we're still looking at making art. Hey, let's see this.
I put together this entire video using just AI.
Choose a man to challenge me. If he defeats me, we will be your subjects. If I win, you will serve us.
I come to you in the name of God, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will deliver you into my hand.
And on that day, David defeated Goliath. His victory song spread throughout Israel, and the king became jealous.
David is a threat to my throne. Get him!
David spends years hiding in the wilderness, narrowly escaping death as Saul relentlessly pursues him with his soldiers.
So everything you just watched, including the music, are all generated from one AI tool to another. So stay with me and I will teach you everything you need to start making videos like this yourself, even if you're brand new to video creation. But why should you care about making videos like this? Well, AI-powered animation videos are a gold mine. People love storytelling videos, and these videos can teach incredible lessons to both adults and children. Don't believe me? Just look at this channel with 74,000 followers, raking thousands and millions of views with every video they post. They're simply telling Bible stories using AI. You could do this too if you pay attention right here. In this video, I'm going to walk you through each step on how I created the video you just watched, so you can create your own captivating story videos with the help of AI at the end of the video. Here are the steps we'll cover: creating our script, generating our images, turning our images into videos, generating voiceovers, creating lip sync to match our video's spoken words, putting it all together to make the final video. So grab your drink of choice and stick with me as we dive into these exciting steps. Step 1. Writing the script. First, we need to write a script for our video. We'll use ChatGPT to help us write a Bible story about King David in simple English. We'll ask ChatGPT to keep it under 2,000 characters so it's not too long. In just a few seconds, our story is ready. Remember, I chose 2,000 characters to keep it short, but you can make it longer if you want. By asking for simple English, it will be easy to understand. Once ChatGPT generates the story, we'll copy it and paste it into a Google Doc. To make it better, we'll separate each character's dialogue and write who is speaking at the start of each line. This will make it easier to record voiceovers for each character. Now, our script looks perfect. Step 2, creating characters. Next, we need to create amazing AI-generated 3D images for each character in our video. We'll use a tool called Leonardo AI. If you have a paid ChatGPT plan, you can also generate characters by clicking on Explore GPT and searching for the plugin, Consistent Characters, GPT, Fast and High Quality. For this video, we'll stick with Leonardo AI. Click the link in the video description to start with Leonardo AI. After logging in, you get 150 free tokens daily, enough for our character creation. Once logged in, click Launch App. In the dashboard, select Image Generation from the left menu. Under Preset Style, choose Game Concept 3D. For image size, click More and select 16 by 9. Perfect for YouTube videos. In Advanced Settings, choose Albedo Base XL. Now we're ready to create our characters. Step 2, create the characters. Now let's guide Leonardo AI to create our main characters. Our story follows David as a boy, a teenager, and an adult, so we need 3 different images of David for each age range. The Bible says David had auburn hair, so let's ask Leonardo to create an image of a young boy between 18 and 20 years old with dark red hair in ancient Israel attire. In a few moments, Leonardo generates the perfect image. Click Download to save it to your computer. Repeat the process for David as a boy and as an adult. Next, let's create the main image for Giant Goliath. Give Leonardo the prompt, and in less than a minute, the image is ready. Repeat the process to generate all the other characters in the story.
GoDaddy Arrow can get my business online in minutes with AI. Let's see.
To make consistent character scenes, upload the main character images you previously generated. In the prompt box, click the image icon, select Character Reference, then upload our main character image. Enter a new prompt, click Generate, and wait a few moments. Your scene images will be ready, using the original character reference. Repeat this process for all the scenes, ensuring consistency with the characters. When you're done, organize all the generated images in a folder to keep them neat. Just like that, all our images are ready. Step 3, video generation. Before we continue, if you found this video helpful so far, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot. Now let's bring our images to life by turning them into videos. We'll use a powerful AI tool called Dream Machine, recently released by Luma Labs. Dream Machine creates amazing video animations with depth, giving your images a 3D effect. With Dream Machine, you can generate up to 30 videos per month for free. I subscribed to a paid plan because I needed to generate over 100 images for different videos. Look at this video Dream Machine generated. It's almost perfect. To use Dream Machine, click on the link in the video description to get started. After logging in, you'll land on the main page. Click on the image icon and upload one of the images we generated with Leonardo AI. Let's start with our giant Goliath. Next, you can give it a prompt to tell it what to do with the image. You can also leave the prompt empty, and Dream Machine will generate a video using its own directive. However, it's best to give it a prompt for better results. I'll give it a prompt and click Generate. If you're using the free version, your video might take a while to generate and could be queued for a long time. I found it's faster to generate videos on free accounts late at night Eastern Time. Since I'm using the paid version, this will be faster. So let's click Generate and wait a few moments. Our video is ready. Let's play it. As you can see, the video looks great. If you're not completely satisfied, you can re-upload the image, adjust the prompt, and generate it again. If you like the video, click Download to save it. You can also extend the video length by clicking Extend and giving a new prompt for the longer part. Now, our videos are ready. Step 4. Add voiceovers. Let's make our video even more exciting with voiceovers. We'll use 11 Labs, an amazing AI tool that makes text sound like real people. It has lots of natural sounding voices, so it won't sound robotic. You can find the link to 11 Labs in the description below. First, open your Google document and copy the first speaker's dialogue. Then go to 11 Labs website and paste the text into the box. Pick a voice you like. There are many options. Alternatively, click on Menu, then Voices and Library. You'll find tons of voices, including male, female, and children's voices. You can also choose different accents like American, British, African, Australian, and more. In the search box, let's search for old male. This will filter the voices that are old male, then listen to them and find the one that suits best. Let's select this as it suits our Prophet Samuel character very well. So add it to your library and go back to speech. Now, the voice you added to the voice library from here. Adjust the settings if needed and click Generate. In just a few seconds, your voiceover will be ready. Listen to it and download it if you like it. Next, do the same for our second speaker's dialogue. According to our story, the second speaker is Giant Goliath. Copy the second speaker's dialogue, paste it into 11 Labs, delete the first dialogue, and repeat the same process by finding a new suitable voice. Adjust the settings if needed and click Generate. After a few seconds, the voiceover will be generated. Download the new voiceover. Repeat this process for all the speakers. Use the same voice for each character throughout the video to keep it consistent. And just like that, our voiceovers are ready. Step 5. Character lip sync. Now, we need to sync our characters' lip movements with the voiceovers we created. While Dream Machine animates their mouths to move realistically, it doesn't automatically match them to the voices. That's where SyncLabs comes in, a powerful AI tool that specializes in this task. To get started with SyncLabs, click the link in the video description. Unfortunately, the free version of SyncLabs adds a large watermark to your video, so it's better to subscribe to their paid plan. Alternatively, you can use Pika Labs, which is free with a more manageable watermark. Let's use Pika Labs to sync our characters' lips. Click the link in the description to try out Pika Labs. After logging in, you'll land on the dashboard. Click on Image or Video, then upload the video you want to sync. Next, select Lip Sync, click to upload the voiceover, attach it, and continue. Click Generate, and wait a moment for it to process. I'll fast forward a bit, and now our video is ready. Let's watch it.
Wouldn't it be crazy if you could create voiceovers that sound like a raspy old man?
A young teenage girl.
If he defeats me, we will be your subjects. If I win, you will serve us.
Pretty cool, right? The Pika watermark is small, and we'll remove it in the next step. Final step, edit our video. Now let's use CapCut, an easy online video editing tool, perfect for beginners, to polish our final video. Click the link in the description to create a new account and get started. Once logged in, click Create Project and upload all your video and audio clips. Drag them onto the timeline and arrange them to fit the story flow. CapCut offers various transition effects to add style between segments. Experiment with different options to find the perfect one for your video. To enhance the video's impact, click Audio to add cool sound effects. You can import your own or use CapCut's built-in options. Drag each sound effect to the timeline beneath the video where needed. CapCut also allows easy addition of captions or subtitles for better accessibility and engagement. Go to the text menu, choose Auto Captions, and explore different styles. Add animation to the text by clicking Animation and selecting your preference. Once everything looks good, click Save and let CapCut render your video. Then export the final version. Now that our video is complete, let's watch it together.
In ancient Israel, God sent me to Jesse in Bethlehem to choose a king among his sons. God chose David, the youngest son, a shepherd boy. I secretly anointed him as king. Later, this happened.
Choose a man to challenge me. If he defeats me, we will be your subjects. If I win, you will serve us.
I come to you in the name of God, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will deliver you into my hand.
And on that day, David defeated Goliath. His victory song spread throughout Israel, and the king became jealous.
David is a threat to my throne. Get him!
David spends years hiding in the wilderness, narrowly escaping death as Saul relentlessly pursues him with his soldiers.
My lord the king, I spared your life today.
You are more righteous than I. You have rewarded me with good, while I have rewarded you with evil.
Years later, King Saul and his sons died, and David was finally crowned king of Israel, and God continued to be with him.
That's all there is to it. By following these simple steps, you can create captivating 3D animated story videos and start building your YouTube presence. Remember, consistency is key.
Right.
Keep uploading regularly and engage with your audience. So there you have it, a straightforward method to create money-making YouTube videos with 3D.
Okay. All right. How to use a screwdriver. Hacks. Thank you, guys.
What's your thought on Black Lives Matter?
What is?
How we go from that to Black Lives Matter?
You know why screwdrivers have a hole in the handle? It's not so you can hang it up on a wall. Look, it's reinforced with metal. It's so when you have a stubborn screw, you can take another screwdriver, slide it in, and now you have lots of leverage. You know why screwdrivers have a hole in the handle?
They just did this.
Lost you nut key. Check the simple trick out with a wrench and a screwdriver. Symbol. Lost you nut key.
A wrench, okay.
Check the simple trick out with a wrench and a screwdriver.
Gotcha.
Let me show y'all how to make $600 in one day by installing a simple walkway. So I'm doing this work for one of my neighbors completely for free, y'all, and she don't even know I'm out here doing it. But just because I'm doing it for free don't mean you have to. So y'all, the thing that made this job so easy was me using these paver pads because they really take all the hard work out. I mean, they allowed me to get the whole job done in like 4 to 5 hours, and if you do the math, that's like $120 an hour, which is more than anybody get paid. But once all the pads are laid out, it's time to put down your pavers, and really, this job is just about finished, y'all. And I did everything by myself, but if you hire you some help, I'm pretty sure you can do like 2 or 3 of these a day. The material cost for this job is like $180, and that's just because the pads are so expensive, but you could do this job for a little cheaper if you're willing to put a little more work in. So once I was finished, I just washed everything down, and it was about 5 o'clock, so my day was over. However, my wife decided that she wanted to do the same thing at our house, so y'all make sure y'all leave a comment if y'all want. Let me show y'all how to make $600.
It took me 10 years to learn this, but I'll teach it to you in less than 1 minute.
To become rich, you need multiple income streams. I have 7, and they generate me over $100,000 per week.
First is my retail store, where I sell radar-controlled cars, planes, helicopters and more. Second is my own brand and product range, which I manufacture in China and distribute all over the world. Third is my eBay store, where I buy stock from failing businesses and sell it online. Fourth is the stock market, where I invest my money and let it grow over time. Fifth is my residential real estate, which I rent out to families. Sixth is my commercial real estate, which I rent out to other businesses. Seventh is my personal brand, where I post videos online to help the next generation grow their wealth. It took me 10 years to learn this, but
Are you black, miss? You know what's crazy? I've seen a few black people. Can I tell you a real thing? I've been here 2 days now. I got here yesterday morning. I have still not seen 2 black people together. It's a fucking crazy thing I've noticed. I'll be like, oh my God, a black person, and then it's all white.
That's what's up. That was just fun. Let me see. How to use a smart phone to survive. Yeah. This is good. Good. I don't want to ditch it. I want to use it. So we're going to take the filter off. Let me see.
Wow. Hi, it's Ryan Reynolds, and I'm here in the North Pole to remind you
A couple of months ago, my iPhone broke, but I knew it was dying. It was completely cracked, and after I dropped it in that puddle, I knew it wouldn't be long until I'd wake up one day and... But it got me thinking. I knew I couldn't afford to replace it. I could have bought a cheap Android to get by, but I thought, you know what? Let's see how I get on with this. Now, I never intended for this to be one of those 30 days without a smartphone videos, but instead, what's actually happened over these last few months, I could never have seen coming. The first week or so without a smartphone, I was getting by pretty good because my laptop was still connected to WhatsApp, so I could still talk to family and friends, so the Nokia was really only for emergency calls. Plus my wife was always close by, so I could always use her phone instead if I needed to. But then... Okay, so I'm locked out of WhatsApp, and the only way I can get back in is to resync it to my phone, what is just a water-damaged shiny brick. I could still text people off the laptop, what was still way more practical than actually using the phone. But the thing is, I've been getting by. It hasn't been completely inconvenient or frustrating or stressful not having like my iPhone on me all the time. But I should also mention that over the last few years, like my social life has drastically decreased. I used to be on Twitter every day, speaking to friends and just filling like every spare minute of my life just on my phone. But I deleted social media about 2 years ago and have been slowly using my phone less and less. But before I actually dropped it in the puddle not that long ago, I was still on my phone every day for hours, just because. But since this fell into a puddle and I've been using this, it actually hasn't been that bad. In fact, I haven't even been using this. It's been a month since this stopped working, and I've rarely used it. I'm turning into my nan. I'm even forgetting to take this with me when I go someplace. Even when I have the kids, what's actually really bad. Like, I mean, what would I do if something happened?
Right.
It's crazy how in such a short couple of months, I've gone from using this all of the time, just like everyone, to not even using a phone. I can't believe I'm actually forgetting to take a phone with me when I leave the house. How is that even possible? I know I've kind of been forced into this situation. Kind of. I mean, I could have bought one of those cheap Android phones and just got by. But I'm really glad I didn't, because by putting myself into this very weird situation, I've realized something that I didn't even think was possible. What is, I don't even need a phone. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure at some point I will buy a new one, whether I get a new iPhone or I'll just get some cheap little Android to get me by. I'm sure I'm going to get to a point where it's just going to be too frustrating and inconvenient to just not have one. But this is all hypothetical. I have no idea what will happen. I'm not an idiot. I know society relies on us using our phones. More and more things are turning towards us having to use our phones to live in this digital age. But this little experiment has really shocked me because I thought I needed a phone. Like it was a literal extension of my body. It's something that I could not live without. But that just hasn't been the case. I mean, don't get me wrong. I miss Spotify. I miss checking the weather. That's sad. I miss listening to audiobooks and podcasts on runs and when I drive. And there's just something about having it on you. It just makes me feel, you just feel more complete, more relaxed and comfortable knowing that you've got your smartphone on you. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah. I'm not saying we don't need our phones, like we should just throw them away and reject what's happening. But this has really shown me that these are things that we just use, but don't necessarily need every day, all the time, because I haven't been using it every day. I used this once this week to call a pizza place to tell them to put less cheese on our order. That's it. So take from my experience what you like. Maybe the brick that you carry around in your pocket everywhere you go, like a teddy bear or blanket that you would carry around as a kid. Maybe it's not as essential as you originally thought. It's always nice to have it on us. It's always comforting knowing if something happens, oh my God, Nana's fallen down the stairs, and because we have picked up in 0.5 seconds, we can make sure everything's all right, because that always happens. In reality, not having my phone on me means I respond to texts maybe once or twice a day, or Kirsty will just tell me what's been going on in the evenings. And sometimes I might not know the time, or if it's going to rain when I go out. God forbid, maybe I should set up a GoFundMe page. I'm joking. But unlike all of those 30-day videos, once this video's up, I'm still just going to pretty much have this and use it very, very rarely. So maybe I'll do an update once something changes, but I have no idea when that will be. If you want to try doing hard things like using your phone less, or building habits like exercising or reading, then check out this video next, what will really just change your perception on...
Okay, that's my man's. They still didn't show me what I wanted to see. I want to see. I want to see somebody using it to survive. Okay, let's look at this.
My biggest fear is not being there for my 4-year-old grandson. In 2019, I beat breast cancer. In 2021, it came back. It has spread to my spine and my bones. They say there's no cure for it. There's just treatment.
Without your gift, we can't fund research that saves lives.
Y'all ain't saving shit. She's still going through it. God damn it. Sorry. I wonder if we can watch this.
Prior to the 1990s, personal communication was pretty much still limited to phone calls and letters. In those days, long-distance calls were expensive, and you had to plan your call in advance to avoid high fees. People would often write letters to friends and family as a way to keep in touch, and it could take weeks or even months for a response. If you needed to find out information or learn something new, the only place to go was a library, a bookstore, or your outdated set of encyclopedias. There was no Google, no Wikipedia, and no instant access to information. You had to physically go somewhere, look through books, and hope they had the information you needed. Researching before the internet was a time-consuming task, as books were organized by subject and author, and you had to flip through pages upon pages to find what you needed. Records, 8-track tapes, cassettes, and finally CDs were how we built our music collections. Going to the record store was half the fun. Then buying an album and listening to it on a stereo or tape deck was the only way to control what music we listened to. The radio made for some long waits to hear the song you wanted, so it was much faster to just fast forward through a tape to find it. TV, movies, and video games were not instantly at our fingertips either. There were no streaming services, no online gaming, and certainly no YouTube. You had to rent a movie on VHS or watch it on TV when it aired, commercials and all. You also had to physically go to an arcade to play video games, if you didn't have an expensive home gaming system. The selection of movies and TV was way more limited, and you had to rely on a programming schedule or a certain night of the week to watch your favorite show. If for some reason you had to miss it, taping it using a VCR was the only way to watch it later.
Well, you just miss it.
Remember when you had to shop at a brick and mortar store? There was no Amazon, no online shopping, no home delivery, with the exception of pizza. You had to go to a store, physically look at a product, and pick it up off the shelf. If a store didn't have what you were looking for, you could go to another store, or wait until it was restocked. Shopping was a time-consuming task, which required the consumer to manually compare prices and products. Before the internet, making travel plans was much different. You had to rely on physical maps and printed travel guides to plan your trip. You couldn't just type in your destination and get directions. You had to physically mark your route and plan for stops along the way. Booking a trip was also a hassle, as you had to call travel agencies to make arrangements. And if you wanted to know what a location was like, you had to rely on pictures in travel brochures, or word of mouth from friends and family. The idea of a game night prior to the internet meant board games, cards, and tabletop games for entertainment. These games required face-to-face interaction to play, and sometimes it encouraged communication and teamwork, as players would strategize and work together to win. There was no online games, so players had to actually be in the same room to play. This often led to fun and memorable moments that brought people closer together. Watching movies, especially new releases, meant heading to the movie theater. The cinema experience was so special, with the sound and picture quality being the best you could get, and the smell of movie theater popcorn made these trips a blast for sure. It was magical to sit together in a dark room and be transported to another world, if only for a couple of hours. Cooking before the internet often meant relying on handwritten recipes, cookbooks, and word of mouth to make new dishes. People had to experiment with ingredients and rely on their own intuition to create something new. This often led to a greater appreciation of food and cooking, as people took the time to learn and understand different cooking techniques and ingredients. There was also a greater sense of community, as people would share recipes and cooking tips with each other and come together for communal meals. News was completely different before the internet. People relied on nightly news, newspapers, and magazines for their daily news, as there was no 24-hour news cycle or instant access to news updates. People would have to walk to a newsstand or subscribe to a newspaper that could be delivered to their door. We would often have to wait until the next day to read the latest news, as there were no breaking news alerts or real-time updates. The news was also generally limited to a specific region or country, as international news was often reported days after the event. Remember when people relied on film cameras and Polaroid cameras to capture memories? Digital cameras were not widely available until the late 1990s, so this meant physically going to a store to buy film and then having the pictures developed, often waiting days or even weeks to see the final results. You also had to be careful with the number of pictures you took, as film was limited, and you couldn't just delete a picture if you didn't like it. The pictures were physical prints, and people would store them in photo albums or scrapbooks to preserve the memories.
So you couldn't just delete them.
The ways in which we communicate clearly have been drastically altered. Handwriting letters or speaking to someone face-to-face has been replaced by texting. Physically writing the words or using a manual typewriter meant then using correction fluid to correct any mistakes.
Right.
This created a greater sense of craftsmanship, and it was a time when people took pride in their penmanship or the speed that they could type out a letter with few mistakes. Despite the limitations, life before the internet was full of fun and adventure. People made the most of what they had, and they cherished their personal connections, especially face-to-face interactions. Knowing your neighbors and actually answering the door when someone knocked was the way things were done back then. I hope this journey back reminded you of the simple things in life and how technology has altered our lives completely. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and maybe even consider supporting the channel over on Patreon.
Alright, y'all. So, we're gonna head out for the day. A little early. Give y'all a solid hour and a half, you know. But we will be back tomorrow. Find Your Way Wednesdays, as usual. Oh man, here on Expansion Pack. So, y'all make sure y'all tune in with me. Hope y'all got something out of this good old talk that we just had. Just use any resources that you got to get the job done that you need to get done. This is DGTA TV. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
A spiritual heart disease, and that spiritual heart disease is called sin. It's interesting to me that rich people cannot buy more hours. Scientists cannot invent disease, and that spiritual heart disease is called sin.
Hey, we about to get up out of here in a minute.
It's interesting to me that rich people cannot buy more hours.
Yes.
Scientists cannot invent new minutes. You cannot even save time to spend it on another day. The scripture says that we're to redeem the time. It's a phrase out of the business world. It means to buy the time. Take 10% of your time and say, Lord, this is yours. For Bible study, for prayer. Have you committed your whole life to Christ? Has that ever happened to you? Oh, you say, yes, I've been baptized. I've been confirmed. I go once in a while to church. I think about God once in a while. But have you really committed to Him? Are you totally committed to Him? And are you sure if you died at this moment you'd go to heaven? Are you certain your sins are forgiven? That's why Christ came and died on the cross and shed His blood. And God raised Him from the dead. And then there's the tyranny of time. It controls us and we become frustrated, running from one thing to another because we don't feel that we have enough time to get everything done that needs to be done. Jesus said, I must work the works of Him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. The night is going to come to you and you won't have an opportunity to serve God. Serve Him while you can. Serve Him now. Put Him first in your life. Yet at the end of His life, He said, I finished the work that you gave me to do. God has a plan for your life, and you can finish it with God's help, and He'll give you a joy and a peace that you never dreamed existed if you put your confidence in Him. Oh yes, when Jesus left the earth, there were people that needed to be healed and lives that needed to be touched, but Jesus said He had finished the work that had been assigned to Him by the Father. God has assigned a work that only you can fill. You are unique. Nobody can take your place. And God needs you in His kingdom. Time can be